My name is Karen Lewis, and just waiting for the recording to begin. My name is Karen Lewis, and I am the manager of the School of Engineering Advising Hub. I want to welcome you to Prepare for Launch, How to Register for Courses. This is our onboarding webinar for all incoming engineering students, and we are really excited to welcome you to campus this summer. So I'm going to turn this over to my colleague, Kelly, who also welcomes you for introductions and our agenda.
Hello,
Take it away,
everyone.
Kelly.
Thanks, Karen. My name is Kelly Sanacero. I'm a advisor in the School of Engineering Hub. I will go through our agenda and a few other things in the first half of our presentation, and then Karen will kind of dive into the nitty-gritty of how to register. So first we'll do our introduction. We're going to go through some academic definitions. They're a little different than high school, so you're going to be hearing some of these words a lot. So I want to make sure that you understand what these are when it comes to RPI's wording and what we do. We'll go through registration resources, and then Karen will take over for how to register, our transfer credit reminder of what that process is, important dates moving forward, and of course any questions. And our colleague Kim threw in stuff in the chat there as well. We are going to be referencing our website quite often throughout this presentation, so definitely take a look at that link. We're also going to go through it at the end as well, especially if there's any questions. So next slide, Karen. All right, so here is our team. So we have 5 advisors. We are professional advisors. We've been here for a few years now. We're pretty equipped with RPI's knowledge and course registration, especially in first year. So we are dedicated to you, entire first year. So there's 5 of us, and you'll see all of our names. In the summer, we team advise. So a common question we get is, who's my advisor? You will get to have one of us in August, but for right now, over the summer, we will help you through our drop-in advising or our SOE Hub email or WebEx, whatever works best for you, especially with time zones and things. We are here to support you. So this is our team in the SOE Hub. All right, so let's go through some academic definitions. I feel like a teacher for a second. So you're going to be hearing a lot. These are probably the 2 most popular, is the add deadline and the drop deadline. So we have our initial registration window that will open in a few weeks. And hopefully you'll be able to see what your time ticket is today. And a time ticket, as we explained in our newsletter and our email yesterday, is that window of when you can register. So ideally you want to register right when that time ticket opens. And majority of you will be July 13th. So again, we'll go over some of those dates at the end as well. And so the add deadline is you can add a course up until that add deadline. So even those first 2 weeks of the semester, if you want to add a class or drop a class, essentially making any change to your schedule, you'll be able to do that in that window. Now, anytime after that, let's say you're struggling in a course and you don't think this is going to work well for you in terms of your GPA or just things going on in your life at the time, you can withdraw a course. So that will be a W on your transcript. And again, that is after that 2-week window. Definitely consult with one of us if you decide to do that. But these are the most important to begin with: add deadline, drop deadline, and withdrawing from a course. Some other definitions and things that you'll hear a lot from us is HOS. HOS stands for Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Management courses are not HOS courses. Now, the School of Engineering, you have very unique HOS requirements. So you will be taking 5 over the course of 4 years. So there's no rush to get them in. There is a rush, however, for your HOS inquiry requirement. So we'll emphasize that too during our how to register component of this presentation. So essentially that's a HOS course that has an INQR prefix in the beginning of it. And it'll have a 1 as its first number, and then there's a few different options of courses that you can choose from. So, find one that interests you the most, but also find one that kind of works with your schedule ideally. So ideally you want to take that HOS inquiry course in the fall, but there are options in the spring as well. So you'll be hearing that word a lot, Haas this, Haas that. There's also School of Engineering, there's School of Science. So there's different components to your curriculum, but Haas is probably the one you'll hear about the most. There's also something called auditing a course. Auditing is attending a course without credit. So if there's like, you just want a reminder in a course, this isn't a common option, but if you want to do it, you're welcome to. But again, consult with us before you decide to do that option. Pass no credit. Along with that withdrawal deadline, around that same time is the pass no credit option. So this is limited options. So you're able to pass no credit a course that is not a named course in your curriculum. So let's say you want to do some type of free elective in your first semester, or it could even be a Haas course because you have other options to choose from to meet that requirement. So again, consult with us before you do that option. There's probably more options than you think, but things like chemistry, math, physics, can't pass no credit those. However, you can pass no credit a course that's not required for your curriculum. Now, every major is different, so definitely consult with one of us before you do that option as well. Again, this is towards the middle of the semester, so you won't be hearing about it right away, especially if you're unsure about the course in those first 2 weeks. Add drop deadline. That's what we're looking for. We want to make sure that you want to fulfill these credits. Pass no credit is an option. It can still count as free electives for your program for most cases, but again, speak with us before you do that. Okay, lastly, repeating a course. So students may repeat a course up to 2 times. If an undergraduate repeats a course, both grades are entered on the record. However, course credit will count only once. So it's your most recent attempt at the course. So let's say you get a D in chemistry and you're like, I know I can do better. And then you get an F in the second attempt, you have to repeat that course a 3rd time. So repeating a course there's good and bad to that. It's just the way RPI does it. But on the flip side, let's say you get an F in your first attempt and then you pass it the next time, great. You pass the course and it improves your GPA. So there's many different scenarios on how that can work depending on the student. But that's just how we do it here. Karen, did I miss anything? Is there anything else you want to emphasize there?
I think you're good. I think that these definitions are going to be reoccurring throughout your first year, so they will become familiar to you. But this is just a teaser to let you know that you really need to meet with your hub advisor because we can assist you, and there's a lot of options available to you throughout the semester. So this is just kind of telling you to connect with us about things because you might not even be aware there's options that exist to support you.
Cool. Thanks, Karen. All right, next slide. All right, so there's a bunch of acronyms that you'll be hearing. Haas was the first one that we've heard today, but also in terms of your major, you have specific codes as well. Now, chemical engineering, it's CHEG on paper, but we typically call you chemies. So what major are you? I'm a chemie, and that's common language here. So for those more spoken acronyms, there's a hyperlink here. We will also be posting these slides as well, so be able to click everything on our website. But yeah, some of them may not make sense, but most of them do. So any questions, just let us know. This is particularly important later on if you decide to change your major during the semester, but all of these acronyms will be listed on that change of major form as well. Spoiler, we'll get to this a little bit later, but if you decide to change your major now within the summer, you're able to do that in your application portal or your admissions portal, but we'll touch more on that. Actually, I think it's the next slide. Great segue. Cool. So unsure on your major, we offer a 1-credit Introduction to Better World Engineering course. So this is a seminar course once a week that features a faculty or guest speaker representing all majors in the School of Engineering. So if you're currently an undeclared engineering student, you will be required to take this course. So make sure you put that on your schedule. In addition, if you are an electrical engineer right now, you're able to add this course as well. If you're on the fence between 2 majors, or you really want to learn what type of engineering majors are out there, or type of engineers in general that you'll probably be working with in some capacity, This is a great option. It is a pass no credit course, right? Satisfactory, not satisfactory, Karen? Cool. And so attendance is important. You want to learn, and it's only offered during the fall. So if you're really in between some majors or you just want to learn about some others, this is a great option.
And let me just add one more thing. We're actually hosting this class this year. So as you're in the class and you're learning about these other majors, if you have questions, you can come directly to us with those because we're obviously connected with the faculty. We can connect you with different departments and we can advise you if this is the best, what major you're interested in is the best option for you.
Cool.
Hold on.
Thanks, Karen.
There we go. Sorry, I'm going back now.
No, it works. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're thinking of changing your major right now during this time period, definitely do that through your application portal or that email you used through admissions. So you're able to do that. There's like a small review process, and then you'll get an approved email. Please let us know what major that you're choosing. And so if you sign up for drop-ins later or sometime during these next few weeks, just put your new major or what you want to do in that form.
And then you'll get notification that the major has been switched over and we can act accordingly.
May I add something real quick? This is Kim.
Hey, Kim, go ahead.
Hey, just going back to switching your major and everything, we get questions about declaring duals and if students can do that through that portal. Right now, the School of Engineering does not accept declarations of duals only under certain circumstances with specific majors like DIS. But other than that, if you're hearing about other internal engineering duals, we do not declare that officially until your second semester here. And that's because we want to make sure you are understanding the general material that you're in for the first semester. So obviously, if you're not doing well the first semester, we're going to tell you to maybe focus on the one major and then maybe add it later on. So if you're thinking about a dual, that's great. You can talk about that with us during drop-ins. But again, you cannot officially declare it through that portal at this point.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, that's great reminder. Awesome. All right, let's end it with some resources here before we get into the meat of the presentation. So these are some resources. Kim put in the chat our SOE Hub website. This is updated daily. So if there's anything that we have to add today, we'll be adding this recording and things like that. So if you have any questions, it's probably already there. We have a whole FAQs page in terms of specific registration and specific courses. Sometimes it gets a little confusing. You're like, why am I having this error? It's probably on there. So check there first. And then, of course, you can always contact us, whether it's WebEx or joining a drop-in session. Of course, our SOE Hub email as well. And now we'll get to the main event. So I'm going to pass it on to Karen, and we will learn about how to register for your courses.
Thank you, Kelly. So registration's coming up, and today officially kicks off our consultation period. So refer to our website. You're going to get sick of me here saying that to you. However, refer to our website for the schedule for drop-in hours and any events that might be coming up that we're hosting to support you through that process. The first thing that we did reference in the emails that we have communicated with you so far is that we want you to utilize your registration checklist. So going on our website and downloading your major specific checklist is going to outline the courses that are suggested for first semester students. Now, a lot of you might have AP, IB, dual enrollment, any kind of transfer credit. So all of those factors are going to be considered while you're picking out your classes and creating your schedules. And if you look to the left of the screen, I think it's on your left, where the checklist exists, you're going to see a category that says notes. We put those in specifically for you to kind of let you guide yourself to finding the appropriate courses. So, you know, if you have obviously Calculus 1, we would suggest Calculus 2 and so forth. So this is a checklist that we give for every major, including undeclared engineers, where we offer a list of options and you can kind of choose your adventure based off of your personal experiences in high school. Now, on the right is our 4-year plan, and that is another expression you are going to get sick of hearing because we say it a lot. The templates, which we will be loading on our website at the start of the fall semester, we want to focus on this registration period first. But at the start of the fall semester, you will be able to download your 4-year plan or a blank 4-year plan that you're going to be able to create and customize with the courses that you're registering for every semester. And we work with you throughout the year to customize that plan to make sure that all of your academic goals are reflected in there. You know, Kim mentioned dual degrees. We have dual templates for that, but we do really want you to kind of plan for the first semester first, and then we kind of get into the 4-year planning later on. Now, we do have other resources on our website. Like I said, I'm going to reference it a lot, and one of them being the link to Quacks. We've also emailed this out yesterday to you in our newsletter. Quacks is a platform that students in our computer science department have created to support you in creating schedules that don't conflict. So this is the main menu of Quacks, and we actually created a video that is posted on our website that shows you the step-by-step process of using the checklist and Quacks to create schedules. And you can create thousands of schedules, so you can have lots of options that are going to be ready for you when you register. And I'm going to get into some step-by-step here, because since the registration window isn't currently open, you're not going to be able to see the screens that you're going to use when you're registering in SIS. We call it SIS, it's SIS, Student Information System. We do have a lot of acronyms here, as you've learned already. So SIS is going to be the platform that you register for courses. Quacks is the platform that you create schedules prior to registering. So this is a preview screen of your SIS platform. So when you log in, this should be your home screen, and you have a lot of different options here. We do have, if you look in the important links, that's where you're going to find a financial hold agreement that we referenced in the email. But what we're focusing on at the bottom, each little square is considered a tile, and we're looking at the registration tile for your registration process. So you would click on your registration tile, and then we're going to advance the screen, and it's going to bring you to a new menu where you can actually register for classes by clicking register for classes. So it's pretty straightforward in this platform. And having Quacks, you know, even if you have both windows open at the same time, that would really streamline your process when your registration window's open. So this is what I basically prepared here. I put together a 17 credits schedule reflecting a Haas inquiry, a math class, a science class, and maybe an engineering course or two. And if you look at the bottom where I've highlighted in yellow, those are special registration numbers called CRNs, another acronym that stands for course registration numbers. Your CRN is what you would need to actually do the registration process. So when you find Quack's schedule that you prefer, which I took a screenshot of a random one here, the CRNs populate automatically at the bottom of the screen. And if you hover over each individual CRN, it'll actually copy the CRN for you, which actually makes the process even easier. So as we go forward, while you're in your registration screen, this is the menu that will appear after you click register for classes. I want you to select enter CRNs. These little things on the top are tabs that you can choose. You can find classes, but you already have your schedule picked out. So you're going to click enter CRNs, and then you are going to paste or manually type the course registration numbers in the CRN box. One course registration number per box, but it does give you the option below to add additional CRNs. So you can kind of add them all at once. And once you finish entering your CRNs, which you'll see here, if you have all of them added, you're going to click Add to Summary. Now that's an important step, otherwise we're not going to complete the registration process. And we do have students that miss steps and then all of a sudden they don't have a schedule when they thought they registered. So this is an important thing. Like Kelly had mentioned previously, we are going to post the slides and we do have a recording of this webinar so you can refer back if you have questions or just want to look at the process again before you physically register. So now you're going to be in a second screen here where all the courses that you added to summary will be listed. Now, the last step and the most important step is where that arrow is where you need to click submit. If you don't submit, the classes will look like they're on your schedule, but they will not be registered. So once you click submit and then you see the green outline on the above it where it says registered in status, that means that the classes you registered for have been successfully added to your schedule. Now, if you get a message that there's an error on one of those classes, then you're going to have to go back potentially to QUACS and find an alternate course, or you can reach out to a hub advisor if you needed guidance. But most errors would be because of major restrictions if you're choosing a class that's not specific to engineering or if the class is full. So we'll walk you through those processes. Advisors are online and we're going to be supporting you throughout the registration days. So you can always refer back. But a lot of the troubleshooting can happen through this platform where you could just refer back to QUACS and find an alternate class. So we also want you to understand your transfer credit because we do have the expectation that most of your credit will be transferred in and you can plan accordingly. Right now, your transfer credits might not be appearing on your transcript, especially APs because they haven't been processed or received yet. Those are where you're going to anticipate. If you know you got a 4 or a 5 on an AP exam and you've sent the scores to RPI, it's safe to assume that you can register for the subsequent class if applicable. So for example, I use Calculus 1. If you did take Calculus 1 and got a 4 or 5 on the AB exam, you have Calc 1 credit, so you would be able to register for Calc 2. So that means that when you're creating your schedules in QUACS, you want to make sure that you incorporate Calc 2 into the schedule if that's what you're planning on doing. We do have a webinar recording for support for transfer credits and also how to send them to RPI, so be sure to check those out. Again, those are on our website, but we have them here when we share the files as well. So we have some important dates coming up. We did actually receive confirmation that the time tickets should be loaded today. So if they're not already there, sometime today they should be available. That again would be in SIS. We outlined the details of finding that information in the letter that we sent to you yesterday. And as you see, June 25th, today is the kickoff to our advising consultation period. And then July 13th is where the majority of students will register. If your time ticket says differently, it could be because of early admission and different circumstances. So you definitely want to check to verify that you did receive a time ticket. Time tickets are also going to reference a specific time, not just the date, but a time. If everybody's registering on July 13th, your time is specific to you. So set clocks, please note it's all in Eastern time. So that's another thing noting for our West Coast and international friends. Make sure you accommodate for the time change. And then you'll be on campus before you know it. And August 27th is the first day of classes. Now, Kelly mentioned in those definitions our add and drop deadlines. So the add drop deadline is September 11th. That means that you can't move classes around anymore. You're kind of locked into your schedule. And we also have our pass no credit deadline, which she referred to as well. So we have some exciting things coming up and things are going to move very quickly and we're excited to be working with you. So again, here's the QR code to our famous website. So make sure you check it out and become familiar with that. And we can support you throughout the process with this. So I'm going to turn it over for questions. And, also if Kelly wanted to give a brief overview of the website, I can stop sharing my screen.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Here.
While Kelly's doing that, just a note with transfer credit, um, the dual enrollment transfer credit policy has recently changed as of June of 2026. So it used to be that it was required you needed additional documentation signed off by a school administrator or counselor. That no longer is the case. And we did put that on our website where Kelly's showing on the screen right now. So if you do have dual enrollment credit, it is a lot easier of a process. So if you click that link, it'll bring you directly to the registrar's website, as all these links will. So that way you have the updated policy.
Cool. Thanks, Kim. Like I said, if there's a question that you have, it's most likely on here. If it's not on this general screen, I recommend going into the registration FAQs, or there's general ones as well with some forms, but registration is probably the most common. If there's a major issue, we might refer you to the registrar ticketing system, and they can help us move forward, but we're here to support you. So we are trying to be a one-stop shop as much as we can and find out all information to really make this process as smooth as possible. So all these resources are here. There's really niche things, but co-requisites are a thing. A lot of students will be registering for physics along with physics mentoring. What's the difference between the two physics? You will be registering for the mentoring section as a first-time student here. So there's a lot of niche things and really specific to RPI. So if something is really not making sense, definitely message us and we can help explain it in its own RPI way. But like I said, there's 5 of us and we're here to support you. So if you can't find the answer to your question in here, then definitely message us and we can help you through that process.
Kelly, can you scroll up to the webinar and drop-in schedule? I just want to touch on one thing there. So we are offering drop-in appointment, or not appointments, drop-in sessions. So that's going to be posted here where you see all of the times that we are available for drop-in sessions for you to meet with an advisor one-on-one. Just a note there, the drop-in advising link is currently not open because we're not hosting a drop-in session. So when you click on the link, if it's closed, that means that you have to refer to the time that's listed below. We do get questions about that all the time. Somebody signs up for a drop-in session and the form is closed. The only reason the form is closed is because we're not actively hosting a drop-in session at that time. So again, form is closed. It will open when specified on the schedule on our website. So I just wanted to kind of point that out just so everybody was aware, because we want to support you, but want to make sure that you know when we're available for support.
Additionally, make sure that you are all on WebEx. I see some friends here that are on an external, and that's totally fine. Especially in the beginning, we want to just guide you to the right area for the most up-to-date, and you really get to speak with us one-on-one if needed through the WebEx platform, but definitely download that WebEx platform through your RPI credentials. If you have any issues, we can reach out to IT and figure out what's going on. But it's just as if you were signing into everything else, such as your RPI email. So definitely, start logging into that as well. That's where we sent our second communication yesterday. If you missed any communications so far, we have them here as well in our communication archive. So I'll add the second one here as well, but we have them both listed in this box folder that I will update. So
Perfect.
for right now, this is our initial, but I know we have some questions in the chat. Karen, do you want to go ahead and see what we have there?
Sure.
Do you want me to read them off so you guys can just answer them?
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kim.
Yeah, no problem. So first question is, will all transfer credit be processed together like AP and other credits, or is it processed on when it's received?
So I'll take this one, Kel.
Got it.
AP credit is usually a big data dump. The scores are sent if you've ordered your scores to be sent, which we hope you have, we should be receiving a huge batch of them in the early part of July. And our registrar team works overtime to actually ensure that all of the scores that have been received at that time are loaded onto your transcript. So that should be a streamlined process of huge amounts of data coming in. All of your AP scores, if your scores were sent by the 20th, should be there. Dual enrollment is a little bit different because it is a rolling basis of when the transcript is received by the other institute. So we do process those as they're received. And IB is similar. So really everything is on a rolling basis. Once the initial data dump of the AP credits have been received, anything that comes in after that is processed immediately. So the turnaround time for this is relatively quick, but we do encourage you to not wait to send everything to us because we would like those on your transcript prior to registration to ensure a smoother registration process.
And with AP credit, I know people tend to wait till their score is released officially to see it. You want to order that transcript if you haven't already by that June 20th deadline for a free transcript. You want to order it as soon as possible because even if the score is not on that first one, once the score is available, it'll automatically be sent to RPI. So you don't have to go back and resubmit anything. And also, if you get, say, below a 4 or a 5, and you're worried for some reason we're going to pull your admission, that's not the case. We're looking at transfer credit at this point. So if you've been accepted, we are literally just looking at your credit. There's literally no negative impact on getting those transcripts. I do have some follow-up questions regarding transfer credit, so I'm going to go with those and I'll go back to others. It's kind of more about testing out. So is there a way to test out of a class if they took a class in high school or another version of a class, but they didn't get any college level credit? So, I mean, I can answer this one. This one, there's no test out at RPI. So if you don't have college level credit, unfortunately, it will not transfer or you cannot test out of it. So you will have to retake it at RPI. But the good news is if you already have that knowledge, that should be a nice refresher and kind of get you used to what to expect on campus with the professors, the teaching style, the amount of workload. So there is a positive to it, but no, you cannot test out and there's no way to really take a more advanced class without having that transfer credit. Next question, if I register for a drop-in session, will you help me pick out a schedule through Quacks?
I'll go. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. So if Quacks is a little confusing, we're here to help. Sometimes it is a little confusing depending on what you select. But Karen made this amazing video on how to use it. But if there's still something deeper that you have questions on, we're more than happy to help. Especially if you can come prepared with your, what you plan on transferring in, or have an idea about what transferring. We can come with multiple plans when you most likely will, especially on June 13th, everyone's registering, so we might have to make alternative plans if the first one doesn't work out, but also alternative plans depending on your AP credit and other transfer credit. So yes, we're absolutely here to help you with that.
We do want you to start the process though, because you're going to be doing this every semester right through graduation. So of course, this is the first one where it's a little bit intimidating to get to know all the software, but physically doing it yourself will help you retain that information. So even if you jump in a meeting with us and you've started the process, that would make it that much better for us to be able to advise you moving forward. So definitely check out the videos that we have because they are helpful to kind of navigate the system, but we are here, as Kelly said, for sure.
Next question, how do I get my dual enrollment transcripts to you? Do you guys want me to answer this one? So for dual enrollment transcripts, you have to order the transcript directly from the college, university, institute where the credit was given. So if it was a local community college, you go to their registrar's office, either their website, or give them a call and be like, hey, I want to order official transcript and have it sent to RPI. And then it gets sent over to RPI and then it's reviewed for credit internally. If the registrar's office needs additional documentation like a syllabus or a course description, they will reach out to you directly. That way it can be reviewed by the department. But if it's already been reviewed, usually they'll let you know whether or not it'll be approved or not. So if you can do that sooner rather than later, that'd be better, because right now, like Karen and Kelly were saying, we're waiting on the other types of transcripts like AP and IB in Cambridge. So getting your dual enrollment in now before the busy time is best. Next question. When should I decide my Haas integrative pathway? Should I be planning that out now to make sure I take the right inquiry or Haas elective this year?
Well, I'll take this one, Cal.
You got it.
We were talking about first semester registration and the importance of taking an inquiry course, INQR. I do think that just focusing on that is perfectly fine. And if you find one that you enjoy and that you actually want to learn more about the content, that's when we can have a conversation about what pathways are associated with that inquiry. And on the flip side, if you didn't like the class or thought, it was interesting, but I want to learn something new, you have the option to take other Haas classes in the spring that could perhaps give you a different pathway option. So I wouldn't focus too much on determining what pathway you're going to do, rather than finding a Haas class in general that supports your interests in the first semester.
I want to emphasize, I know I have this on the screen. I know they say full courses. These are zeroed out for a reason. They are reserving them for you. So when your time ticket comes around, there will be seats in these sections and you'll be able to register for those courses. So for the time being, as you're making your QUAC schedule, definitely add the course that you want. And then by the time you're open for registration, there will be seats there. Now, come up with some backups just in case, because these are smaller class sizes, which is great. I love that for our students, but also they fill up sometimes pretty quickly. So definitely have some alternative options. Obviously, the main focus in your first semester are your math and science and engineering courses. So, if we have to make an adjustment here and maybe not get your first priority, you might have to look at alternative options. What else do you have, Kim?
A few more questions. So how do you know if your transfer credit has been approved or not? I'll take this one again. So for transfer credit, you can actually see it on your SIS if it's been processed. I don't know if Kelly's going to that. Oh, you're going to the slides. But it'll actually be directly through SIS. We do have it under one of the frequently asked questions on the Hub website, but it's also under the transfer course slides that we have. And this is the screenshot right here of what it would look like. So you go to your SIS, student dashboard, academic transcript, and it'll show any credit that has been transferred in officially. So again, AP, IB, Cambridge, they all have set scores. So if you have those scores or grades, it will transfer in. It just determining when. Now the dual enrollment's more of the question of has it been approved or not. It would one show on there, and then two, registrar should be reaching out to you via RPI email. So that's why it's very important to access your RPI email, letting you know if they need anything else or if it's been approved or denied for whatever reason. So again, check your SIS. If it's not there, check your email if you already submitted everything. If you're still trying to figure out if everything was sent over properly, you can reach out to that transfer credit at rpi.edu email. That is the registrar's office direct email when it comes to transfer credit. Next question, regarding the checklist, is the ENGR undeclared the correct checklist for ECSE major in electrical engineering? When I open the undeclared PDF, it says electrical engineering, just double checking. Thank you.
Let's check.
Hey, look, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, we'll fix it. All right, undeclared is there. And then, ECSE, there's electrical, there's computer systems. So maybe that's been the problem. Let's see. Electrical. And scroll up. Electrical and computer systems. Yeah, maybe it looked like ECSE from afar. So yeah, just make sure you're selecting the right major. ENGR is for our undeclared students. Not sure why it's blanked out like that, but maybe it's a refresh. Yeah, so that answers that.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. In terms of filling out a change of major form, what do I do if I plan on taking forthcoming robotics engineering major? As I understand it, it's not a listed major for it.
I'll take that one. as of right now, you won't be able to declare the robotics engineering major. If you did communicate interest in the major and filled out the survey that was requested and emailed to students, you should have received information regarding webinars and support. If you haven't, please email SOE Hub and we can get you that information. But as of right now, you will be manually placed into the major upon availability. But right now, we're just kind of collecting information from students who are interested, and we will be reaching out about those webinars and information on how to proceed with scheduling.
I
Anything
don't
else,
have
Kim?
any, I don't have any
Okay.
additional questions at this point.
Nice. Thanks, Kim.
So a couple of things, just general housekeeping and reiterations. The biggest thing that we want to emphasize is that we're here to help you. So our chat is going to go live this afternoon where you can engage with other students, and you can also engage with us during our business hours during that time in the chat. The other thing that we really want to emphasize is start checking and using your RPI email. A lot of students have reached out with their personal email, which in the beginning is perfectly fine, but we do have very significant firewalls, and there's a chance that maybe something hasn't been received. Using your RPI email ensures that it gets to us. And we get to the point in the semester, if you're engaging with different departments on campus, using your personal email will not be responded to, because it's a FERPA violation of using personal email for academically sensitive items. So that's a super important thing. And Kim wrote in the chat, and I'm going to read it out loud. When you're emailing any department on campus, full name, major, and RIN. That way we can ensure a speedy response, because if we have to look you up, it does take additional time, and this allows us to get back to you as soon as possible. So please make sure you include those items when you're emailing, and that goes for every single office on campus, because the same situation applies. We don't know who you are yet. We will know you soon enough, but for the time being and to be professional as a student, it is really important to include that information. Any other questions?
We are all clear in the chat.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. We will be in touch for sure.